What is that? Is that a... What is this? What is this thumbnail? Whoops.
Today is August 9th, 1945. The US drops 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki,
That's crazy.
burning the cities to dust and ending the lives of more than 200,000 people, shortly after which Japan surrenders. In celebration, the US government creates and publishes a tabletop board game called Nuclear Love, themed according to the operation performed. It was made for 2 players, where one would be playing on the side of the US, and the other would be playing as Japan.
I don't like
It
that.
features dice that look like miniature atomic bombs, and the person who manages to bomb the other's city capital first wins. By rules of the game, however, the US side would always have the first turn, which brought natural advantage, and the board game, despite the patriotism and popularity, failed on the market. Sounds like a rather unethical piece of military propaganda that
That's crazy.
magnifies the tragedies, right? That's because Nuclear Love never existed, and I just made it up. But there is a similar situation that does exist that follows this formula, and it is about to be released, and its name is Atomic Heart. I want to preface the video by saying that if you're the type of person that is still going to buy and play something like Hogwarts Legacy despite its infamy, you might as well click off, as I'm going to explain why it's a bad idea to purchase and play Atomic Heart. Go on, you have a Joe Rogan podcast to catch up on, or play Call of Duty or something, I don't know.
Damn.
Off you go.
Damn! That's crazy. My man, he's throwing shots. Call of Duty fans out here catching strays. Yikes, dude. Oh my goodness. Oh, looking into this game? Well, basically, like, one of his arguments that's in the game, one of his arguments of the game's, like, problematic nature is that it speaks too highly of the USSR, right? Afternoon, hello.
Being Ukrainian myself, I'm making this video to spread awareness, so even if 100 people see this, I'm satisfied. Even if one person cancels their pre-order because of this video, I'm satisfied. I will be turning monetization on for this video if possible, and all revenue from this video will be going straight to local Ukrainian charities. But let's start with...
I think that is important to say. He will be biased in this, like, let's be honest. He will be. He obviously will not like the USSR. I think he has a poor view of Russia, which, you know, understandable. But let's just see what his argument is. Let's hear him out.
The basics. What is Atomic Heart? Atomic Heart is a video game set to be released on February 21st, 2023 that is positioned by the developers as BioShock in the USSR. It describes the events of the alternative history of the 50s, where the Soviet Union emerged from the Second World War scientifically and technologically advanced, reaching the peak of development with cold nuclear fusion and intelligent robots. You play as Mayor Nechayev, who is a KGB major and an officer in special assignments. So far, the game has been universally appraised, earning top spots in oncoming games lists on sites like PC Gamer, IGN, and Gamescom. But let's see who is really behind it. The game is developed by a Russian studio called Montfish. On the website of the studio, there is currently no mention of the fact that this is a Russian game dev. The story of the company begins with its launch in 2017 by a team of 4 like-minded gaming enthusiasts in Cyprus. At the same time, the studio was mentioned as a Russian one with an office in Moscow in Russian gaming and IT media articles. In 2019, there was even a report from the Moscow office of the studio. And after the events of 2022, the company completely ostracized itself from being known as a strictly Russian company and is now presenting itself as international, which in terms of their history of office installments and offshores means half Cyprus, half Armenian, half Singapore, and whatever the hell else, just to avoid sanctions and negative spotlight. So, now that we've established that this is actually a Russian studio, what is their opinion on the war going on?
Okay, so actually, it looks good. Yeah, I mean, it looks okay. The more we saw the gameplay, the more I'm like, I don't. It's if the game releases like it is now, it'll get like a 6. If they fix some things, I think it could get like an 8. But yeah, when it comes to this, them like distancing themselves from like Russia, I feel like that's a mark in their category. For me personally, when I look at a lot of these things, I like to think that people are like not strictly just bad people doing bad things who are trying to like hide their intentions, you know? So for me, I just see this as like not wanting to be known as like just straight up a Russian studio, because that looks pretty bad, especially like what's going on now. And how a lot of people just don't want to give money to, you know, Russian companies and everything, justifiably so, with like the war and stuff going on. because that money could make its way back to Russia and make its way back to making more bombs to drop on Ukraine, right? Makes sense.
What could be their stance on this tragic matter that could save and keep their public image,
Hope you're doing well.
not tank the sales? Let's read out loud together. Guys, we have noted the questions surrounding where we at Montfish stand. We want to assure you that Montfish is a developer and studio with a global team focused on an innovative game and is undeniably a pro-peace organization against violence against people. We do not comment on politics or religion. Rest assured, we're a global team focused— Hold on, stop. We do not comment on politics? You're making a game that sole idea is USSR renewal and communism. You classified your game as inspired by BioShock and Prey, yet you go the no politics in my video game route? This is one step away from the types of gamers who say, I don't like politics in my video game, and then immediately open up Fallout. What absolute nonsense. After that, their response to criticism—
I mean, here's the thing. If he's correct that they are a Russian studio, they can't come out and say that if they believed it, they literally cannot come out and say Putin's bad, the war is bad, it needs to stop. They just can't say that if they're in Russia. You know what will happen if they say that, if the team is actually in Moscow? They'll get raided by the police, and then all of them will be put in jail for 20 years, period, like 20 years minimum. They just can't talk out like that. They get themselves killed. And so the best thing that you can say is like, we're against violence against people, we don't like violence, and we don't want to talk about politics. And even then, guys, I haven't played a BioShock game. Does like the BioShock Twitter or Facebook or something, do they like, did they like make a book review about like how, did they like make an Ayn Rand, did they make an Atlas Shrugged book review or something about like how bad it is? Or like, or like talk about just out of nowhere, like, hey man, religion can go too far sometimes. Did they ever like tweet something like that? Because I don't think they did. I don't think they just like I don't think the studios like, or the devs specifically, just make comments like that. You can have you can have political imagery and political themes in your games without just straight up just blatantly saying things, right? Because I don't think the devs want to get into that, like get into like political debates on Twitter or on their like game promotion account. You know what I mean? And, you know, just leaving this guy. Yeah, I'm not saying that it doesn't have political theming. I'm talking about like what they do outside of the game. Does like the BioShock dev like do like political book reviews or something? Do they like comment on current events on their main account? Do they do that all the time? I know sometimes they do. If like it's like overarching sort of like uncontroversial really things or like some social issues, they may, you know, say some things sometimes. But I'm talking like, you know, I just don't think that happens very often on their like main accounts. It's understandable for me how they wouldn't want to talk about it. For one, they don't want to be put in prison, and two, they don't want to like comment like that outside of the game. Yeah, I don't think this really happens. That's just me though.
Regarding that tweet was simply to ban people, so it's a short end there. Now, let's look at the CEO of Montfish, whose name is Robert Pagratuni, except that it isn't. His actual name is Maxim Zatsepin. Max previously had a position of a creative director / top
Where did you get that name from?
Which is now presented as VK, the biggest social media platform in Russia. It doesn't take much to figure out that a platform that is based in Russia, directed and controlled by Russia, and is used only by Russians will have a strict pro-Russian stance. But it doesn't end there. Meet Yevgenia Sidova. As the founder of Montfish, she's a former model and an owner of a modeling agency. She worked at New Media Stars, where she was in charge of the computer graphics department. That company is now in charge of various pro-Russian mass media, such as Vzglyad.ru and Dni.ru. According to the former employees of the company, all Montfish transactions and checks are on her behalf. Let's roll back the time a little bit. The game has been in development for quite a while, and
also I don't want to think that, like, make you think I completely disagree with this guy. Like I said, I want to hear him out, and I think like his skepticism of the game is like pretty well founded, especially what's going on to his country. I feel that. I get it. I just don't think all of these are like incredibly strong points, just for me personally. So these are like business people, and they had media companies, but then those companies were taken over by the Russian government, and just like every media company is in Russia at the moment, there is no free media in Russia. It's pretty tightly controlled by the government, especially since the war broke out. So like, what are they supposed to do? Just like, I get it, but like, what is like your average kind of like Russian business person supposed to do? Like, just go to jail. Like simply just go to jail. Like I can. It just seemed like a tall order to ask somebody to simply just forfeit like a third of their life to the Russian government for making one. It's like it's a tall order to ask like somebody to forfeit a third of their life to the Russian government for one tweet. You know what I mean? Because that's all it is. It's one tweet, or like one comment on that app, or like one change to the app that makes it like not controlled by the government, and then boom, you're in jail for 20 years. Like I get how you would like want them to do that. I think it'd be great if they like did it, but I think it'd be cool if they did it, but the risk to reward for their own to their own lives is like really high. And it's really easy for us like on the outside to be like, yo, just do it. But at the same time, like they're like, sure, but then I'll be in jail in Russian prison for 20 years of my life for a single tweet. Is that like, be honest with me, chat. Would you take that? If you were in Russia and they passed the law that if you like speak out against the government, they will throw you in jail for minimum 20 years or something. And then you have the option of writing on a piece of paper and then writing on a piece of paper, the war is bad, stop the war, and then tweeting it out on Russian Twitter. Would you be like, oh, hell yeah, I'm so happy to go to jail for 20 years? Like, no, I don't think anybody really would. Some people would. And that's like a strong personality, but I just find it so hard to think that to hold it against somebody that they won't do something like that. That's just me though.
By quite a while, I mean at least 7 years, with its earliest trailers dating back to 2017. And the scene in 2017 and 2018 wasn't as smooth for them. Many people got interested and excited, but a lot of people were skeptical, the reason being a shady system of pre-orders. Let me paint you a picture. An unknown company posts a small teaser trailer of some generic assets and a description to cause hype, with all of the effort to guide you to their pre-order page, where you would be met with a $60 base game, $90 pre-order for Gold Edition, and $100 for Premium Edition. Mind you, you see these price tags, and there's exactly 2 minutes of badly made teaser trailer footage with no gameplay to serve as the video game's representation and marketing. What did not help was the fact that the game was being developed by a studio that no one has ever heard from before, being just born and publishing.
It's true, those tactics are pretty scummy. I don't like them.
They have no background and no.
I don't like pre-orders, period, but
justify the pre-order prices. However, the breaking point for many people was that the game didn't even have a release date, or even a release year at the time, which meant that you're investing up to $100 for something that might not come out ever, practically losing your money. You know what else is $60 for the same price as the base game? Elden Ring. Doubts started to rise as many people called this out to be a fake footage from a video game.
New fake game just dropped?
Made by a shadow company with no records just to scam people out of their pre-order money. And it's been like that for a long time until they dropped more trailers and promo material and so on and so forth, but the initial impression fell flat. Now let's talk.
That's true, I feel that. Like, I don't think they should have done that. It could possibly be the growing pains of like a new figuring out how to be a dev, like really, while they're working on and trying to find some like, trying to think of like a not like insane way to raise money to help the development. I don't think they should have done that. And like, I don't know about like I don't know if he's like skipping any updates that happened, but let's just take it for a moment that he didn't skip and there just like wasn't really any updates from like 2017 until like 2022, right? Or like 2023, right? That's pretty bad. And I hate when devs do that. I've been on like, there are a lot of, right, some people may know that I have like a list on Twitter of upcoming indie games and devs that are working on games that I keep around and I update and like, you know, do a lot of stuff with. I never add any devs who cannot do at least a bi-monthly update on their game. If I click on your game, your Twitter account, your Facebook, your like GoFundMe or whatever, or like the, you know, Kickstarter, and it's like last update 2021, I'm not adding your damn game anywhere. It's really not that hard to do a, hey guys, this is what I worked on this month. Here's a couple things. Thanks for the support and thanks for waiting. Next update in the next month. It's really not that hard to chime in to your backers once a month. Is that really that much? Once a month? You can't do that once a month to let people know that you didn't run away with their money? Is it really that hard? I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. And so if you can't do at least that, I will never add your fucking game, because I don't want somebody to get fucking scammed by your dumbass shit because like you couldn't bring yourself to do literally one update a month or one update every other month or something. I just think it's simply unacceptable. I think if somebody gave me like $1,000 to do something and I knew it was going to take a while, I'd update them without even having to be asked. I'd tell them how things are going and I'd thank them for like what they were doing. You to like take $500,000 and then disappear for 5 years is not acceptable. It's just not. It's not. It's hard to write a tweet shark. Yeah, I know, right? It's hard to make a GIF of something that you made and then tweet it out. That's literally all people are asking for, to let them know that you're actually not stealing their money. Cringe. But yeah, I mean, like it's coming out now, but we'll see.
Economics. If you were to buy one and spend $60, where would these $60 go? That is a really good question. To answer it, let's look at what kind of companies signed up to be the investors and publishers for Atomic Heart, basically to be the ones who would be taking the large cut in Atomic Heart's revenue. The investors of the studio are Chinese Tencent and Russian GEM Capital and Gaijin Entertainment. Tencent needs no introduction, being infamous with its licensing technique and hunger over users' data. So,
isn't Tencent like the biggest company in the world? Isn't it like bigger than... It's huge, isn't it? Like Tencent is massive. It's a Chinese company, very connected to the Chinese government, but every company in China is heavily connected to the Chinese government. Oh yeah, they own Riot. Yeah, they own Riot, and I know they worked on Pokemon Unite. Like they do everything. They work on Pokemon games sometimes, right? They own a lot of shit. They own a lot of stuff. They are Tencent. Like Tencent's huge. I will honestly, it's let's see. Made 24 years ago. Revenue, they have their subsidiaries. Let's see. Fat Shark. What the heck? Funcom. Grinding Gear Games. What is this? iFlix. Heal Entertainment. Client? Wow. They have Client? Really? Okay. Client Entertainment. Liu Mini Clip. Riot Games. There it is. Turtle Rock. They own Turtle Rock? Really? Oh, geez. They're huge. They're into cars? Oh my gosh, they're like Chinese Sony, which means like they're Sony, but even bigger. Entertainment. This shit is crazy. They own Playtonic? They own Discord? Wait, they're invested in Discord? Xi Jinping is listening to my e-sex with my Discord kitten? Mr. Jinping, I love the CCP. They are my favorite. Me over the Discord. I support the CCP, Mr. Oh no. Don't ban me with, I mean, Xi, please. As I should, Xi Jinping, please. I found this the other day as well. Jinping is one word. Taiwan is part of, what I meant to say was Taiwan is a part of China. Long live the People's Republic. Yo, what the heck? They're invested in Roblox, Platinum Games. Tencent owns Bayonetta's juicy ass. What is happening? You can't have anything nice these days, bro. Roblox. All right, then. Oh, they own a lot? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're huge. So, I mean, unless I guess you guys want to, like, stop giving money to stop buying Bayonetta Funko Pops, stop using Discord, you guys better stop paying for Discord Nitro, partner. I'm just saying that it seems really hard to be able to get away from Tencent. Like, Tencent isn't good, and Tencent needs to stop. And I wish that we could regulate Tencent to not do what they're doing in the States, and we should. But it's kind of hard to get away from Tencent. It's actually very difficult to get away from Tencent. My Discord kittens! Ah!
So let's start with Gaijin Entertainment, which moved from Russia to Hungary in 2022 in order to avoid conflict and continue its activities. The head of the PR, Konstantin Hovorun, illegally...
Here, wait, let's see. Gaijin Entertainment. Let's see. They now work, they are now in Budapest. There's now in Budapest. One Budapest, please. History. They have something when they moved their shit. Oh, here it is. This it? An office in Germany was established to manage the global operations and marketing. The company moved their distribution business from Moscow to Budapest around. Oh wait, what a second. 2015. Wait, didn't he say?
So let's start with Gaijin Entertainment, which moved from Russia to Hungary in 2022 in order to avoid conflict and...
What the heck? That's not true. That's a lie. Unless there's something else that I'm missing. They moved in 2015. English. Okay. Games have always been about the soul. Video game development. Is engine. I mean, I don't know. It's in here somewhere. This is a long ass article. This article's way longer than I was expecting. More lefty disinfo. I know, right? That's not true.
It's
very funny.
The head of the PR, Konstantin Hovorun, illegally visited the Ukrainian Crimea, which is temporarily occupied by Russia, and repeatedly spoke in support of the policies and politics of the Russian Federation. But the most interesting sponsor is GEM Capital.
Well, it wouldn't have been illegal for him to visit. Well, I mean, I guess is it illegal for... Does Ukraine have a law to say it's illegal for you to visit Crimea? Is that true? I'm not sure if that's true. Is that true? I just don't know if that's true.
Continue its activities. The head of the PR, Konstantin Hovorun...
Let's see. Now I feel like I gotta... now I'm a little nervous. Now I feel like I gotta, like, fact check all of his claims.
Illegally visited the Ukrainian Crimea, which is temporarily occupied by Russia, and repeatedly spoke in support of the policies and politics of the Russian Federation. But the most interesting sponsor is GEM Capital. GEM Capital is a Russian fund.
I can't find anything about him.
Who previously worked at Gazprom's subsidiary, Gaijin. The studio raised investments from them in 2021, where Anatoly met and became friends with oligarchs who got rich on oil and gas activities and now have the opportunity to invest large sums of money in various projects. Namely, the export of gas and oil is one of the main categories of income of the Russian budget, the money from which goes to the military industry. And if you know basic economics and finances...
Wait here,
you know
I want to hear that again.
Founded by Anatoly Paly, who previously worked at Gazprom's subsidiary, Gaijin. The studio raised investments from them in 2021, where Anatoly met and became friends with oligarchs who got rich on oil and gas activities and now have the opportunity to invest large sums of money in various projects. Namely, the export of gas and oil is one of the main categories of income of the Russian budget, the money from which goes to the military industry. And if you know basic economics and finances, you know that all investments must be returned, including interest. Moreover, a Twitter user found Paly's connection to other...
Okay, so basically he's saying that this guy is connected to guys who run, like, oil companies in Russia, and so that can be taken in taxes by the Russian government to use against Ukrainians. He knows a guy who knows a guy? Yeah, something like that. Do they invest, or isn't he just the investor?
From which goes to the military industry. And oil is one of the main categories, sums of money in various projects, oil and gas activities. Where Anatoly met and became friends with oligarchs who got rich on oil and gas activities and now have the opportunity to invest large sums of money in various projects. Namely,
Oh, he just has money from work. Oh, he has money from working with guys who work with oil who who gets who pay the government in taxes. I don't know. This connection seems a bit dubious.
Returned, including interest. Moreover, a Twitter user found Pelly's connection to other Russian state institutions, such as the sanctioned, systematically important bank VTB. The game attracted as many as 4 publishers: Xbox, 4Divinity, Focus Entertainment, and VK Play. Let's focus on VK Play. It is known to be a gaming division of the former Mail.ru, the same Mail.ru who had Maxim Zatsepin as their former top manager. And again, it is closely connected with the Russian government and participates in many initiatives of the Kremlin. If Atomic Heart is being developed with money that originated from sanctioned Russian businesses such as VK and Mail.ru, and banks which are systematically important to Russian government such as VTB, profits from the game could be directed to help the Russian government in its invasion. Thus, by buying Atomic Heart, you would pay money to companies that support the aggressive policies and military actions of the Russian Federation.
I get where he's coming from. That last comment doesn't follow through though from what he said previously with the you don't know if they support, they can't just like pack up and go home. Like they have a business to run. They have a family to feed. You know what I mean? And like Ukrainians as well, 100%. So I mean, when it comes to this, it's just like, here, I want to hear it one more time just to make sure.
Banks which are systematically.
Oh yeah, and like the banks things, like they're connected to banks that are sanctioned. Yeah, but like every Russian living in Russia is connected to a bank that's sanctioned. All of their banks are sanctioned. I mean, like if you like, I don't know, like every single person has to use like the bank. And like their central bank and all auxiliary banks outside of the country, from inside to outside the country, are all sanctioned at the moment. Like every single Russian person living in Russia is sanctioned at this moment in time. And so it doesn't hit as hard like that the bank's sanctioned. All of the banks are sanctioned. Like everything that they do right now is sanctioned, right? Like I get it. I just don't know. I don't know.
Important to Russian invasion, thus by buying Atomic Russian Federation. Lastly, there were some incredible terms of service and privacy.
I don't know if they like actually support
the website now.
They just have like a business to run.
But someone managed to capture these screenshots. Basically, it says that your information can and will be transferred to the Russian government, in particularly the Federal Security Service, and not just your username, but your full name, physical address, email, phone number, IP address, and so on. Gotta say, their mobilization methods are getting kinda dire. Finally, let's talk about...
Oh, also, didn't we talk about this yesterday? They said it was unconfirmed and they removed it from their website. Or, play Hogwarts. I'm not a loser, so I don't like Harry Potter.
About the game itself for a bit. Set in the USSR in 1955, Atomic Heart's story begins as a Soviet scientist Dmitry Sechenov creates an AI-assisted legion of robots that take control of all manual labor, leaving humans free to live a life of leisure and luxury. The main protagonist is a mentally unstable officer on special assignments.
He's just like me!
Where the USSR had won and had a major boost in technical progress. The gameplay is centered around fighting through hordes of various types of enemies, ranging from playing robots to cosmic horror type obscurities. The game is filled to the brim with USSR-themed keepsakes.
Fuck you, Shark. Well, there you go.
Drinking condensed milk straight out of the can.
Milk.
To actual flags and symbols of the USSR, hammer and sickle. This kind of approach to the showcase of USSR and communism walks a thin line between using it for world building and praising it. And there are many solid reasons to believe that this line has been crossed completely right into promoting and idealizing the USSR regime and using it as a tool of USSR and Russian military propaganda. And there have been events to prove this. Take a look at this event that people behind VK organized. It was a special showcase of Atomic Heart for the Russian press, which was stylized in the game's Soviet aesthetics, and they did not go stingy on the day.
You mean red? I mean, is this in Russia? Wait, did he say it was Cyprus? Wait, let's see.
That people behind VK organized. It was a special showcase of Atomic Heart for the Russian press, which was stylized.
Oh, it was for the Russian press? Wait, no, this is... Well, I mean, what, it's red?
Game's Soviet aesthetics, and they did not go stingy on the decorations, huh? The event included a dinner in a large banquet hall where you could see Soviet-style slogans, like "Glory to the Soviet engineers" or "Comrade, join the society of the future." One of the users in Twitter replies said, "Imagine if developers of Wolfenstein had a Nazi-themed party."
Now, I get it. I 100% get this. And especially people who've had like a horrible experience, who've had horrible experiences with the like Soviet Union, which is millions and millions of people. The Soviet Union wasn't good. It was bad, really bad, actually. My thing is like, I don't know, like, did the people who made, I don't know the company's name. Did the people who made BioShock, did they ever have like a press event? Did they ever like do like a physical like announcement, like press event? Where like, you know, come in and we'll like, here's like a show or something. You know what I mean? Like, what's the difference between this and like BioShock Infinite? You know what I mean? Slavery, the Native Americans, Puerto Rico, Mexico. Yeah. So like, my thing is, so what's the difference, right? So what's the difference between this and like this? You know what I mean? This was a press event for. I didn't know they did this, but there was actually a press event for BioShock Infinite, right? There aren't many pictures of it because this was in fucking 2011, like 12, 13 something years ago, right? So it's kind of hard to find, but they did do it. It is real. They did do a BioShock Infinite press event that was America themed, America memorabilia themed, right, and everything. And so my thing is, right, is just, I don't know if I can say who's worse. Who would win the cringe competition between the United States and the USSR? Like the USSR, you know, the genocide of Ukrainians and everything, gobbling up like massive spheres of influence, trying to work with the Nazis. All of this type of stuff that they did, pretty horrible things, right? And they have black waiters and everything. Yeah, I get it. If they did that in real life, that'd be crazy. But you know, all that type of stuff is basically like South Confederate themed. It was America themed. It was America themed, not necessarily just Confederate themed. It was America themed, right? And we did slavery and killed the Native Americans and still hold countries that are not American, like Guam and Puerto Rico, as Donald Trump would say. And as the beginning of this video like said, dropped literally 2 bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima in South Dakota. You're right. I'm not sure who would win like in L competition between the two of us. Yeah, and Hawaii, you're right. Hawaii as well. Like what in like 18 in like the what like well when did we gobble up Hawaii? Wasn't that like the 1930s or something? Like we fucking invaded Hawaii in like 1930 and then just like made them a state. It's just like, you know, who's worse? I don't know. It's just like, for me personally, it's just when you go with these types of aesthetics especially in like, I mean, I just don't know what all of the ideas about like the Soviet Union are in like Eastern Europe, period, right? But it's kind of like become a piece of like pop culture for just generally. And those type of aesthetics have just like, you know, generally become like pop culture-y now. There's like a part of like the cultural zeitgeist. I can see them thinking that this is like appropriate. I don't think it's wrong for you to think that this is terrible. I think it's fine for you to think that this is terrible, if I'm going to be honest with you. The same way I think it's fine for you to think that like BioShock Infinite and like it's like the aesthetics of it looking like it's praising America, same way. Yeah, I would say that BioShock Infinite would, like another criticism, I would say BioShock Infinite is definitely more critical of America than like, it seems like this is critical of the USSR, but at the same time, it did show that there was like corruption in the highest levels of the USSR in like the game, which does mimic the real world. So, I mean, I just don't know. I don't have the games in my hand, so I can't tell.
Aesthetics, and they did not go stingy on the decorations, huh? The event included a dinner in a large banquet hall where you could see Soviet-style slogans like "Glory to the Soviet engineers" or "Comrade, join the Society of the Future." One of the users in Twitter replies said, "Imagine if developers of Wolfenstein had a Nazi-themed party," and I would say that's well said. Sergei Mohov, a Remedy lead gameplay designer, rightfully accused Monfish of being nostalgic about the Soviet regime or even glorifying it. Ironically, the party's date coincided with the adoption of the new anti-LGBT law in Russia, which brings us right back to USSR, I guess. A major point that I want to bring attention to, that there have been numerous well-made games with a Soviet or USSR or low-lie Eastern Europe theme or setting. Let's bring some examples. In Singularity, the Soviet Union discovered a source of element 99 and has special powers that could warp time itself, trying to bring it to the glory days through time travel. If you're in the mood for video games that came out 15 years ago, but already played through all the world-famous ones,
I've never heard of this game before.
try. In Half-Life 2, the setting of City 17 has not been directly said to be in a specific part of the world, but it's clear that it's been influenced by Eastern Europe's architecture and style. Bulgarian art director Viktor Antonov, the person behind City 17 and Dunwall of Dishonored, mentions his childhood hometown of Sofia as main inspiration for City 17. Other places
The man grew up in Sofia?
also used as reference. In Disco Elysium, the streets of Martinez show what it would be like to live through the failure of an attempted communist revolution. You can still see artillery damage and bullet holes in the walls, notes the lead writer Helen Hinpere. There's this feeling of being stuck in the past. People of Soviet and post-Soviet era are very familiar with this feeling, especially those who live in countries like Moldova or Estonia, which is the homeland of the game's lead designer, Robert Kurvitz. The game takes its own spin of what being a communist entails through its own political vision quest and partially the main quest. I won't spoil it, and I do suggest you try it out yourself. Coming back to Atomic Heart, another point that rubs me the wrong way is the recent marketing strategy. It seems like their marketing team realized that
Oh no, he's gonna talk about the BUBBOT. Wait, was anybody here when we were looking at the press releases for Atomic Heart and or like the new like trailers and stuff for Atomic Heart? They added the BUBBOTs. The BUBBOTs doing crazy BUBBOT things. Not the BUBBOTs. Lesbian robots. BUBBOT.
their previous shady strategy has failed to bring in pre-orders, so they went with another plan to make typical that their previous rubs me the wrong way is the recent marketing strategy.
You'll see.
It's like their marketing team realized that their previous shady strategy has failed to bring in pre-orders, so they went with another plan to make typical capital G gamers buy.
Sure, but do you know about that? Do you? I don't know if Atomic Heart like was struggling before
their game, which is of course none other than through sexualization and objectification of women. So far I have avoided showing these characters on screen, but I am talking about the couple of female USSR-styled robots that they suddenly added in recent trailers and thumbnails to get the attention of the lusty neckbeards. Just by searching Atomic Heart on YouTube and scrolling far down, it's impossible to miss the countless trailers, thumbnails, edits, and shorts about these characters, with some videos claiming that they'll buy the game just for these two, which also brings in the ongoing issue of sexualizing lesbians in media.
What is that? Is that a... What is this? What is this thumbnail? No, the BUBBOTs are together. One's like 5 months pregnant. The other is holding a positive pregnancy test. What do you look? What's happening? What is going on? BUBBOTs disgusting. Where? They do have BUBBOTs in the game, yeah. The gamers are not okay. I mean, it does work. Should it work? I mean, it does though. I will say that. It gets people interested. Used to be on a watch list. Atomic Heart robot girls have awakened something inside of me. I'm so upset that nobody else came up with the term BUBBOT, because it's exactly what the hell it is. Of course it's a fucking BUBBOT. This shit is crazy. It's real.
I would the out of these robots.
Oh no, it's a VTuber. Of course. It all makes sense now. Of course this is happening. They're a VTuber.
6 hour cutscene. I'm in. I'm all in. I don't care. I'll do it. I don't give a take all my money. I know it's not real. I'm not insane. I know it's not real. But can you imagine how insane it would be if they actually put that in a game? Like, look at the way he like grabs her face in that one cutscene. Like, I don't blame him. I would do the same thing because robot girls are just, you know.
My man is way too excited. Way too excited to see the BUBBOT. Homie, calm down. Please, I'm begging you. Jerk off before you record a video, partner. I'm begging you. It's okay. Son, calm down. It's a cartoon. It's just a drawing, son. Calm down. Yo, what the hell is happening? Atomic Heart 6 hour scene canceled. Atomic Heart 6 hour sex cut scene canceled. No. Anyways, for some people who haven't seen it, here are the BUBBOTs. Here are the girls. And then one makes this massive horn out of its dang forehead and slices the other one open. Like, they know exactly what they were doing here. It's so sexual. Yes, it's very sexual. She also, like all the scenes, they're pretty sexualized. I mean, at least they're not real women, I guess. At least they're not real fake women. They're just robot fake women. But I could 100% understand you being like pretty uncomfortable with this. I get it, 100%. It's like it is needlessly sensual. Of the extracting the key ceremony. Oh yeah, and then these are the boy bots. Those were the this was for the Robussy, and this is what the boy bots look like. Wait, was that so? This does not make horny. Unstable? Yeah, they punched the drywall. Yeah. It's not a Russian game until the dev's poorly hidden fetish slips through. Never heard something so true in my life. I'm not quite sure if imagining this last scene as a player driving under a humanoid figure and the camera just sort of points at their butt. Down bad for the Soviet Robussy. This game unlocked my inner dormant fetish. What? Lesbian robots? I'm not sure what's happening, but I'm vaguely aroused. All right then. Not the Robussy. And then like you get straddled. I do know you get straddled a bit. Is this it? Yeah. Oh, let's go to the scene that most people watched. Yeah, there it is. Yep. You see that? I'm like, I wonder where that like straddling scene is. Oh, just listen to the rest of the audience. There they are. There it is. She does straddle you, yes. She does get on top. She does push you down and slices you open with her Robussy. Very sad. So true, dude. Interesting. Listen, they know how they make their money, okay? Let's be honest with ourselves. They know how they make their money. They saw that they could appeal to the gamer boy with robot BUBBOTs, and they were like, it worked. It did work. Whoever comes out with the decent AI fembots is gonna make a fortune. Oh no. Judging from the thumbnail, I think this game's gonna be a hit. Oh no. Atomic Heart, very serious, bizarre Russian game that has been in a post-apocalyptic world filled with deadly robots and creatures. Also, yo, too thick robots. This one's just crazy.
Yeah, not only is marketing like
the pregnant robots
immoral, as we've been fighting with objectifying and sexualizing women.
Somebody's already cosplaying the robot? Really? The game's not even out yet, and they're cosplaying the robot? What? What is this?
Highly unethical and immoral, as we've been fighting with objectifying and sexualizing women, especially in media and advertisements, especially lesbians, but it's also actually illegal. For example, in Ukraine, our parliament adopted a law banning sexism in advertising, which became active in January 2022. Elected officials
kind of crazy law.
The superiority
of
one gender over another in physical, intellectual, or social aspect, showing
we love women.
Roles of men and women, gender-based violence, as well as the human body as a sexual object. In simpler terms, it's just gross and cheap, and what pains me to say is that it seems to be working. These YouTube shorts and edits are getting millions of views, quickly becoming favorite among the fans, who quickly started to spread rumors about a possible 6-hour sex scene in the video game.
This one was ridiculous. So yeah, this was not confirmed, and this was not said to have happened. Somebody just said, I want a 6-hour long cutscene of like my main character in a threesome with the BUBBOTs. It's just like, why would you need a 6-hour sex scene? Listen, have you seen what they've been posting? Did you see that pregnant robot thumbnail? What do you mean? Why do you need it? Oh, they're down bad. They're down horribly. And I can't objectify fantasy girls. It'd be good if you like didn't. In like media, it trickles into like general society, and it'd be better not to like reinforce sexism just in society. It's not. It'd be good if we didn't.
It's so wrong.
You can do it privately, like
In
with your
conclusion,
door closed.
What can you do to support Ukraine on this matter? If you
I guess.
purchase a pre-order of Atomic Heart, the first and the best step would be to cancel it, request a refund, and send that exact amount of money to Ukrainian charities. The second part is admirable, but not necessary. Simply canceling the pre-order is fine, and let's be honest, in this day and age, you shouldn't be buying pre-orders anyway. If you want to go a step further, you can do the following. You can go to the game's shop page, click on the complaint flag, select the item breach of the law, contains materials that violate the laws of your country, and write a similar text.
Violation of law in Ukraine, on condemnation of the communist nationals regime's prohibition of propaganda. Nazi symbols? What? I'm not sure if this one would work. Fortunately, somewhat limit comments are currently being botted by some faceless, newly made accounts. Completely understand is coming from a place of passion and anger and justice in the war in Ukraine, but comparing COD players with people who enthusiastically listen to Joe Rogan podcast comes as a short-sighted and foolish. He was very angry. He's angry. He is mad. I think that they can fix the BUBBOT problem by adding cockabots. If they add 2 thick, like, muscular cockabots with bulges, even though they don't need bulges, and they have like oil on them and they are glistening, and they have like little skimpy outfits too, and they fight you while oiled up, I think that would make it. I don't think we always need to necessarily desexualize fake women. I think we need to also start sexualizing fake men more, if I'm going to be honest with you. And it's a horse cock. They don't need genitalia. They don't need genitalia. They don't. I mean, they could be veiny. Their biceps can be veiny. Not necessarily anything else really. You'd be like a little veiny, right? But like, I think if it was just like equality. You know what I mean? They are fake. They're not real. As long as they're just like equal with it, because in the game they're not equal with it. Yeah, they do. I didn't say like not desexualize. I said we don't always need to desexualize women a bit and then raise up the boys so we can also be sexualized every now and again. I don't think the bots have jiggle physics. That's probably for the best. Caca physics, bulge physics. Like what's that one game? Mount Your Friends. Yeah, you're gonna have like bulge physics, or just take them out of the game. That's possible. I mean, that's also something you can do. I'm just saying that they don't need to, like, I don't think like simply sexualized robots are necessarily problematic. They can be, but not in and of themselves. So it depends on like how it's done. I don't think it's very well done here, if we're going to be honest with you. I think it's very clearly, yo, the gamers are down bad and they like hot women. Let's make hot women robots, do hot women robot things, and do a weirdly sensual key grab scene. Wow, wow, wow. That's what I think happened. First anthem, now this. We can't have one cool looking game that's not covered in bullshit. But many people are saying this. Following this game for 5 years or more, I want to play the game, but there's something undeniably sinister going on behind the curtain. I think it's strange. I will not buy this game, but I'm begging. Sorry, I will not buy this game, but I am begging for any good reason to. I mean, we're just going to have to see. Like, these are some pretty strong claims, and I just want to see. I think the dev should like talk about some of these things. I don't think this is filled with just like bullshit claims. I'm gonna be honest with you. Playing like a damn fiddle during the opening. I can't believe I tried to Google it and Wikipedia it. No! Yeah, but this seems shady and is putting in the light. But I don't get the people who don't like politics but play Fallout. I don't like politics, but I like Fallout and Skyrim. Depends on how it's implemented. Yeah. I feel like, I don't think all of his points were very strong. I think his overall point of like, something is going on behind the scenes and this isn't the best dev and they may be up to something weird and their connection to the Russian government may be troublesome. I can understand that. I just want to see how all of this goes. I don't know exactly how their like headquarters are all like, how it all is. They probably want to release the game in Russia. Is it wrong to want to release the game in Russia? I'm not sure. Russian people are still human beings, I don't think they don't deserve video games. It's not like they're taking all of the money and then dumping it into like Putin's bank account. You know what I mean? Some levels of extraction there, but I don't know. There is something weird going on, so I do feel that. Anyways, I wasn't expecting to take so long on that, but it was interesting. Come here. Oh. Hi. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.